Get ready with me to run away from home. So Jesus would often sit with sinners and people that weren't religious and tell his parables and his stories. And the people that were religious and the Pharisees didn't understand why Jesus, if he was the Son of Man, was mingling with street people and not them. Jesus then proceeds to tell them why he really don't roll with them like that. He said there was a man who had 2 sons, a younger one and an older one, obviously. And one of the sons decides he's ready for his inheritance right now, which is really crazy considering you usually don't get your inheritance until your parents pass. So imagine the boldness of this little boy. Mind you, he's the younger son. He's not even the older son. So the dad is like, okay, you want to do hood rat things? Here you go. Here's your inheritance. And he really didn't say that. He probably thought it, but I'm just giving you context. So the dad ends up giving him his inheritance, and this boy is gone. If he's anything like me, he probably spent it eating out. Help me, Lord. So the son leaves and is off to do hood rat things, and I'm not gonna tell you all the hood rat things he did. Y'all take the time to read that for yourself. But he was really out here flexing like he earned this money as if it wasn't an investment from his dad. So as he's partying, a famine hit the land. He looks up and realizes he's out of money and he is hungry. So after much begging, he goes to this farmer and begs him to give him a job. The farmer finds pity with him and decides, okay, you can work with the pigs. The pigs. Like, what? Understand this. This little boy went from having everything given to him at his dad's house to working with pigs. Feeding the pigs. Now, I don't know how much money he made as a pig feeder, but I can't imagine it was much. So, I mean, he was still very hungry, although he was working. The Bible said he was so hungry, even the pig's food was looking good. No, thank you. Now, I don't know how long it took him to realize, but he finally realized, you know what? The servants at my father's house get treated better than this. They don't have to eat scraps for food. They have, good stuff they're taken care of. Maybe I'll just go home and be one of my dad's servants, and at least I'll get treated better than this. So then he starts coming up with the game plan to get back in his daddy's good graces. He's like, I'll just say, Father, I've sinned against you, and I'm sorry. After he got his script together, he decides to head out and head back home. As he's heading home, his dad sees him from a distance, dressed crazy, just looking crazy, looking like he's from the streets. And as he sees him from the porch, you know what he does? He doesn't go inside and close the door and act like he's not home. He gets up and starts running towards his son. He runs up to him, starts hugging on him, kissing on him, welcoming him back, just really genuinely happy that his son has decided to come home. The son starts his little speech. Dad, I did you wrong. I shouldn't have went away. I'm so sorry. I just want to come back as your servant. I don't even need to come back as your son. I'll come back as a servant. That's fine with me. So the daddy twitched that boy's lips and said, be quiet. You're home, baby. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what you did. I'm glad you're back here with me. So then the dad says, I'm going to do you one better, and calls his servants over and says, I want to throw a party for my son. Get the fattest calf. Get the sweetest Kool-Aid. Grab the spiciest Dr. Pepper, because we are going to celebrate that my son has returned home, because he was once dead, but now he's alive. Now you see, a lot of times we would rather sit in our mess, sit in our pig pens, and take less than what we deserve, because we don't want to go back to the Father out of embarrassment. But oh, just like that father who was on the porch watching his son come from a distance, he would not only accept you back, but he will run and meet you halfway, more than halfway. So what he was telling the Pharisees is, it doesn't matter where these people have been. It doesn't matter that you say they come from the streets or they are sinners in your eyes. The The story is about redemption. That's why I'm here. Because it is far better for this person to recognize that they are wrong and come back home than to sit in your own slop and think you're doing okay. So I would much rather sit with the person who is honest about their filth than someone who thinks they're better and doesn't need a savior. A lot of times we get so caught up in sin and we get so caught up in how we were living. We think, how could God ever want me back? How could I bounce back from this? I intentionally went out and acted a fool. Why would God want me back? God is saying he doesn't want to hear all that. What he wants is for you to come home. He wants you to, take that step of faith and come home, and he will meet you more than halfway. Why would you settle for pig slop and working in the pig field when you are a daughter or a son of the King of Kings? Make it make sense. Do you know that when you decide to come home and give your life to Jesus, all of heaven celebrates? They bust out in a party because you have finally come home. Don't allow your past and your mistakes to overshadow the abundance you can have by living with Jesus. So what are you waiting for? Come home and stop letting your past mistakes and your past life keep you from living in the abundance God has for you. Bye.